Hello, welcome to No Holds Barred Pod Discussions, episode number 8. That's Sal Dodgson over there.
Hello.
And I'm Don McGowan, and we've got a guest. Oh, I've done it wrong again, haven't I? But I'm not even going to bother this time, that's fine. And we've got a guest who I'll just throw over to in a minute to introduce himself, Dan. But this is our sidebar kind of series of our normal pod where we just invite a guest in to talk about their kind of specialist subject, anything they're planning, working on, and then just have a rambling chat and see where it takes us. So happy to have Dan in to have a chat. So I'll throw over to you to introduce yourself.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. Pleasure to be here. I'm Dan Hatton. I am the founder of News Agency, and that's the reason why I'm here today, which is all around neutral, non-partisan news. And we can dig into what that means together. But yeah, where that came from was me realizing I hadn't read the news for a long time and realizing that I did want to stay informed with things that were happening in the world, but I didn't like or trust most of the news agencies out there, and the outlets. So created a central one.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Awesome.
I guess probably I should declare an interest at this stage as well. That Dan approached me a couple of weeks ago. He found one of my articles on Substack, I think, about my sort of hatred of media bias, and it's something Sal and I talk about all the time. Is the ludicrous
why we
kind
exist.
of exactly why we started doing talking together on the pod, and we really wanted to get truthful news out, and So my interest is Dan and I are going to be working together on News Agency now, which I'm really excited about. So we watch this space, and we might talk about that more later. But yeah, do you want to explain a bit about what it does at the moment and how it works currently before we?
So it's an app. Have I got that right?
Sorry.
So it will be an app in a few weeks. At the moment, it's a mailing list. We basically just wanted to build something quick and get it out there and get people using it and testing it and see how it worked. But yeah, I mean, maybe I can just extend the origin story a little bit. So I was literally lying in bed wondering how I could engage with the news and not wanting to read, obviously, the Mail, Guardian, or whatever.
Yeah.
And this idea came to me was, I basically asked myself, how would I want to read the news, right? And how I want to read it is, I'd want to see a bird's eye view of everything that's happening that day in the media landscape. And I'd basically want to see how different outlets are reporting on the same news so that I can just have a bird's eye view without having to just take on the framing of any one source that I'm looking at. So that's essentially how it works. We scan 10 major media outlets every day, look at their thousands of stories, and then we select maybe the top 5 to 7 main trending stories across those outlets, create neutral summaries from all the coverage, and basically show how different outlets are framing the same thing. So our aim is that everybody gets a plain language summary of the key things that are happening without being subsumed by the bias of any one outlet. And that's delivered as a mailing list at the moment. But as I say, in a few weeks, we want to push it out to app just to, get more people using it and make it more functional as well.
It's brilliant. It's a really, like as I've said to you when we've chatted before, Dan, that the simplicity of it on the front end is amazing because you're just basically pushing out. I'm just looking at today's 5 stories, a good news story, and a quote of the day, which is kind of how it rolls out every morning, isn't it? Around 8 o'clock. Yeah. And what is intriguing to me is when I was speaking to you, Ben, this morning, is the complexity behind the scenes to create something so simple is kind of mad. It's the pipeline and the tech that you've built into it to create this kind of system is really amazing. So how did you come up with the sort of ideas to put that in place?
Well, originally when I made this, it was, I mean, I think I literally just, I was just chatting, this is before I got the AIX out, as we were saying earlier. I was chatting to ChatGPT and I was like, look, I want to make this thing. Can you just help me run like a really quick demo of how it could work? And, it just scanned whatever was out there in the stratosphere at the time. And it brought back something like vaguely serviceable, right? And I was like, oh, wow, that's really, really cool. Maybe I'll try and actually refine this a bit. So I spent the the next few weeks just making this incredibly layered prompt. It was like 20 pages long. It was like, I'd have to post this one thing into ChatGPT, and then I'd have to post this next thing and this next thing. And some sites block AI agents. And so you have to copy like screenshots of the page, it's super, super painful. And so, but what we kind of had made was something that was really powerful and functional. And so I approached Ben at that point, who's CTO, and I've worked with him before on projects, and basically just asked him, look, can we turn this into an actual tech product that can just run at scale, rather than me having to sit for 2 hours every single day getting angry at ChatGPT as I'm trying to like get something vaguely readable out of it.
That's not sustainable, is it? No.
No, it's not. And it was like, I was in India at the time, so I'd be going surfing, and then I'd be like, oh my God, the deadline's soon. And I'd go and sit in a beach. I'd be working for like 2 hours, like literally shouting in caps at ChatGPT, like, please, no, it's not right, stop. Yeah. So yeah, it got to the stage where we built this pipeline now, and it kind of does that 20-page prompt in something a lot more elegant. And yeah, it's cool. It's really nice. Like, there's more I want to do with it to make it more automatable. But we're at a point now where kind of what goes out each day is more or less there. Like, I do some editing on it, but it's producing something that's really, really good, I think, and valuable each day, which is great.
Yeah. The simplicity, as I said before, is great. I mean, just having this sort of breakdown of the top stories without, I don't know, having the layer of like interpretation that's forced upon you by whichever outlet you're reading, that's what we're struggling with, isn't it, Sal? Like, everything's kind of sort of stacked against you immediately because nothing's coming from source direct, whereas but that's the whole point of the news agency, right, is to strip out all that layer of interpretation.
Totally.
I mean, it's not so bad for us because we come at it with a lot of background knowledge, having followed it intently for years. But for the average person on the street, why would they know? They have no requirement to understand all of this.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is a national service.
Thank you.
It is though, isn't it? This is why everyone's walking around shouting and angry, because they've been fed lies since time and bloody memoriam.
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally. That's why I feel like I really. Yeah, I mean, I've had the experience as well. You go to friends and family's houses and things, and you sit and you talk to them, and they're just regurgitating stuff that has come from the mail. It's like, why do you care so much about migrants today? Like, why today? Why do you care so much about it? And you could easily track it back to something that's been in the paper. So yeah, I mean, and you're right. I think most people aren't aware of the landscape, right? They kind of maybe are brought up in a family who votes for a party and then reads a paper. And so they just take that as gospel when there's so much else out there. And I mean, Don, maybe it's worth just mentioning what I was speaking to earlier about kind of the philosophy behind it in some ways, which just touched
that's really interesting. Yeah.
But maybe some people listening are familiar, but in Buddhism, I suppose in all spiritual traditions, right, they talk about there being reality as it is, right? And then they talk about how lots of people's view of that reality is kind of occluded or lensed by their ego, which is kind of made up of like a collection of stuff that they've been conditioned by maybe past trauma, all of this stuff. So lots of people are walking about with this veil, right? And they're not seeing reality clearly. And so the reality is there. It's almost just how can you point a lens at it, like a clear lens? Because kind of what happens is all these people with similar looking egos kind of just end up running these papers, right? And they all think they're right, but it's just because their like occlusion is the same. So exactly. How can you kind of get back to what's actually there? It's really our problem statement that we're solving.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think, as I said, like we're going to be working together on this, and I'm going to try and start bringing in more promotion to it. And I think that we need to think about in terms of like removing the cloud or removing the sort of perception filters, quite a good hook of some description if we work at it, I reckon, somewhere. But it's really difficult. And as you say, people have inherent biases, don't they? And whether it's from upbringing or whether it's just from, being around the same people all the time, or now more as the problem is social media, right? Because people are getting sucked into social media rabbit holes without necessarily having the kind of critical thinking skills, which is not a criticism on anyone. It's just that sometimes people don't quite work things out the way they need to or want to or care about, so yeah.
Totally. And I think that's the whole point about, what all the Buddhists say as well. It's meditating to become more aware of yourself, be aware of why you're thinking this stuff, and then kind of strip it away so you're just here, and that, totally. Lots of people just don't even know that that's a possibility, right?
Yeah,
so
that's it. Exactly.
Serving people up something that is as clear as can be is kind of, it feels like a good next step in all of this stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's what we've been trying to do since last year, isn't it, Sal? I mean, we we get accused of all sorts of kind of biases, but we try and keep it fair as we possibly can, don't we? We give everyone a fair
We try
shout.
and deal with right and wrong as opposed to left and right, don't we?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's a really nice way.
Because that's been warped also.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a machine to fight.
It is, and I think I wrote in my article about the sort of battle against social media that's creating more, if you're using your analogy, more clouding of reality. Social media has got its own layer of like just this absolute dark cloud of like hatred and kind of vitriol.
Totally.
And people get sucked into that kind of vortex, and that's a tough one to beat, I think. But
totally. I mean, I say to people, right, like, you kind of, I mean, people were talking about this thousands of years ago in this tradition, like, oh, people walk around with this cloud, and that's just like another layer of abstraction into it. You're kind of like clouded within a cloud. It's just, it's a lot.
It's
so just switch it off, everyone listening.
Yeah.
don't use
Turn
it
off.
like, you don't need to. Yeah,
I know.
We've got to keep up with what's going on, though.
Well, that's it. Exactly. It's become a necessary evil that like we have to kind of deal with, and I think if you're aware of it, then you can you can avoid the pitfalls and the sort of the dark spaces. But if you're not aware of it, then it's easy to fall into those things, isn't it? So
yeah. Have you guys read Brave New World by Aldous Huxley before?
No.
I read that when I was a teenager. I haven't read it since
it's
then.
Like a school sort of mandated thing.
Yeah, it was.
They kind of talk about that a lot. They're in this distant future, and loads of people are just living in this really technologically sterile society, and then there's people who live over the wall in nature, and they're both kind of like freaked out by each other.
Yeah.
But the thing which like strikes me is there's this thing called soma in it, where all the people in this technological society are so miserable, but they're so like just hooked on this drug which makes them feel good no matter what. And it genuinely feels like the analogy between TikTok and that, and just a dopamine, literally like soma at this point, like just distracting oneself. Anyway, a different conversation, but linked.
Well, I mean, it's
everything's linked. That's the problem.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we're all in that part of that world, and I've got a 12-year-old son who's kind of upset now about the social media ban as it is sort of coming in. But I mean, he doesn't have social media. He watches YouTube. He doesn't have any TikTok or any of that. I don't let him because I know how dangerous it is. Though he's like, oh, well, what am I if I can't use Instagram? I was like, you don't use Instagram now. You're not going to. What's your worry about it?
When does it come in, the ban?
Who knows now with this whole new Andy
of
Burnham coronation? We don't know what he's going to do yet. So things might change in that respect. But it was due to start, I think, next year. I think that was their plan. But I don't know if that's going to... An awful lot of things might change between now and then.
I genuinely think a lot of all this is humanity just trying to get used to the internet and technology, because we're just... Nobody did an impact assessment. They just released it. There you go. Do your absolute worst. And people have and are. And it's mad to me.
No guardrails. Yeah, exactly.
It's like 30 years war after the printing press was invented.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Well, I think that was one of the very first things you said to me when we first met, Sal, was like, on one of the early episodes was that our brains can't keep up with the sort of technological input.
It took us millennia to evolve these great businesses. And you expect us to keep up with fucking technology right now? Are you on crack?
Yeah.
It doesn't. The brain doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's too
mad.
hard, isn't it? The speed
and it burns out very quickly, and we have no mental health provision that works.
Well, that's true.
Well, I think
That is
that's
true.
it. There's been no guardrails around this AI boom
exactly.
as well. None whatsoever.
Mm.
There's some coming in now, like the EU charter coming. Is it next year or
Yeah, a
this
little
year?
bit.
But
Mm.
again, people I've spoken to are like bemoaning that in the States, being like, it's going to stifle enterprise, and you're like, what's wrong with you? Like, just stop.
Shut up.
Yeah. Hold on. Anthropic have already got an AI platform that can break nearly any code on the planet, apparently, and it's too dangerous to release to the public. So they're like, yeah, hold on. I think that's probably enough for the minute.
But that does mean, Dan, just FYI, because I pointed it out before, I don't know why I'm holding my dusting stick, but if it can break any code, it can break the codes into billionaires' bank accounts.
Well, yeah, true.
Maybe
True.
That's what I'm looking for.
There we go.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Goodness.
Yeah, I don't know. We've gone off topic a bit, but it's you said, it's all linked, and how we look at the news is fundamentally changed by how social media points people to look at the news, isn't it? So that's half the battle, I guess.
Totally.
Mm.
And I think people are so used to consuming things in such a different way now as well. Like who sits down and reads a paper now? Very, very few people, right? People want headlines and snippets. And we kind of tailor a bit to that, right? With short summaries. But again, I think for most things, that's all you need anyway, really, right? You need like the pertinent facts, and you don't need a load
pertinent is carrying all the weight there.
Yeah, it's true. It's doing work.
Because at the minute, it's all about Project Fear, isn't it? Keep people terrified and paying attention to the shit we're spewing out.
What people think sells papers, right? It's not good. It's not good.
Hate and fear.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, that's the media just creating their own narrative rather than reporting on it now, and that's causing another. Yeah.
We were talking about that, right, with the Starmer stuff. You guys have done it on the podcast a fair bit, but just watching that unfold in real time, I think that's one nice thing about doing news agency for me, is I kind of have this like engine room view each day of what's going to go out in news agency. And so there's like a list of maybe 20 stories that don't go out that are still covered across all these different outlets, right? And we can talk about how we select them. But just seeing each day how that kind of like furore was growing and growing and growing and growing about like nothing. It was like much ado about nothing, genuinely, for a long time. And then suddenly it was like, okay, now all the left-leaning people in the parties are getting on board with it. It's kind of madness just seeing it unfold, and how a lot of it was
brilliant.
Like, obviously there was some stuff that happened. I'm not denying that, but a lot of it was just clamoring for something to happen, really.
It was.
And then it did happen. And then the news immediately was like, oh, Burnham's going to be worse. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, I know. That's
Make it stop. What is happening?
Rolled into the next one. I think I said to you last week after it had happened, it was all a bit like, Starmer's gone. Everyone's a bit like, yeah, okay, fine, next. Like it's
exactly.
Literally that quick now. The Prime Minister's resigned, but no one really cares. Next one up. It's just
I think we had 3 days of like actual stories being reported. And then we're back to like politics
now it's
nonsense.
Burnham. Yeah, exactly. I know.
Yeah. I've just watched him being interviewed by Paul Joe.
Oh yeah. Did he come off all right?
Russell Kane is going to get a lot of mileage out of him for a start.
Oh yeah,
because
Russell Kane
sitting there with this cardi on, and I'm like, I don't like that
Russell
Kane.
Did we put
don't try and be me uncle? Fuck off. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
But he sat there and he was talking, and because it was funny because he's like wanging on about Manchester, and I'm like, if he's going to be the PM, why the fuck's he talking about Manchester? And I'm like, oh, Makerfield, that'll be it.
Yeah, he's the MP there. Yeah,
but he was talking about how he did this, like loads of policies that he's brought out in Manchester have been taken up nationally, and they've got a homelessness policy in Manchester where there's a bed for everyone every night. And he said during the pandemic, the government took that up, and sorry, not Starmer, it was bloody Tories.
Yeah, Boris Johnson
took that up, and and it helped, but then they dropped it as soon as the pandemic was over, and that's all well and good. But he's still sitting there like he's the Messiah. When, okay, if everybody in Manchester can get a bed for the night, that's brilliant. Are they in safe hostels, or are they just in some multi-bedded place where there's like danger around every corner because it's filled with dysregulated, unwell people? Because unless you've got a wraparound mental health care system, you're not going to solve homelessness.
No, that's exactly it. It's if it's
And he
just a
wasn't,
transient
and he was sat
fad,
there like,
yeah.
I don't. He's a Scouser, Dan, so it hurts my heart that I don't like the man. But I don't. I find him to be a disingenuous neolib, and I desperately want to be proven wrong. But he won't.
Yeah, we shall see. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's early days, but I don't hold it. I just don't hold out any hope. I think our entire political landscape has changed now with help of the media creating their own stories. I think that's been allowed to happen now since probably COVID-ish times, Boris Johnson-ish times, Liz Truss.
Yeah.
And now it culminated with Keir Starmer literally getting the boot because of the media. Well, not because of, but, you know, they were a large part of it. And I just don't think it's going to stop. Unless
it's funny because he could have come straight in and done Leveson too.
Well, he could have. I know. But Burnham won't do it either. That's the thing, and that's why I think he won't. He'll be on the same ground in a year's time. Yeah.
All I'm saying is he could have come in, wrapped up the media to behave themselves.
Oh, he should have.
And maybe he'd still be in a job. Maybe he wouldn't, but he wouldn't be any worse off. I mean,
no,
financially,
for sure.
Maybe he would. But when you've got that much money, you shouldn't be a greedy bastard.
True.
In my humble opinion.
Yeah, the Leveson 2 thing is a mistake, without a doubt. But we shall see. Yeah. So, give us a bit more info on how it works then, Dan.
For sure. So from a user's perspective, what someone does is they go and they sign up, and then each day they'll get a daily briefing, which has between 4 and 7 top stories for the day, with a short summary for each one, a piece about how each outlet is framing the same news, and it shows. So, say for the Guardian, it'll say, okay, the Guardian focused on this in their article about this story. The emotiveness of the story was, X out of 5, and this is the URL to the story if you want to read more about it.
Yeah.
And this is the framing. Like we have kind of a system of one-word adjectives, so it could be like alarm, it could be like disgust, fear, something like that. And basically,
I'm just looking at today's one. So framing. So Emma Raducanu with a stress fracture diagnosis. Yeah, framing human impact, emotiveness 4 out of 5, emphasis on the personal impact. So that's kind of today's specific. And then you've got that for BBC, Daily Mail, and the Guardian. And then same with each story that comes through. Yeah,
exactly. And I the reason I did that, and initially I literally built that for myself, right? Because it's not just the angle or the bias of some of these stories, but it's also the actual emotional effect that it has on people. And if you imagine already dysregulated people are reading like an incredibly emotionally intense piece of news, how are they going to feel after that, and what's going to happen because of it?
Yeah, exactly.
So just
the boats.
Yeah, exactly. It's like no. I mean, so even just being able to see how emotive a piece of news is before you read it, I found it usually helpful, right?
Definitely. You can steer clear of that if you think it's going to be a bit of a trigger or what have you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like we've seen some 5 out of 5s now, which is like, obviously they're about murder or bombings and things like that. But so that happens for the first 6 days of the week. So it's this daily briefing each day, and on the 7th day, we actually take a break from the daily briefings and we put together this thing called the weekly pause, which summarizes the key themes from the last 6 days. Which is quite nice to see. And I built that initially because I was like, just relentlessly being in the weeds with the news, I think is probably part of the issue as well for people, right? Just reading something every single day and not actually taking a step back and being like, how does this connect with everything else? So, that's something that comes through on a Sunday, which is, I think is nice, is just being able to see like, what are those key stories that have come through and how do they cluster across the week? And what does that mean as well?
Yeah.
Well, here's one for tomorrow that's not even trending on Twitter yet. Resident doctors in England vote to accept pay deal ending 3-year long-running NHS strike.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Oh, really?
But it's not trending, obviously. Why would it be? It's only on Sky News.
Okay.
Tommy Robinson's son apparently is grifting a meme coin. That was trending because that's news.
Yeah. Nothing positive comes through as a trending topic anymore, does it? No. And that's something about the daily briefing is you try and keep positive stories in the briefing as well, don't you?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I literally carved out a section now for positive news story of the day,
Yeah.
where we do like a separate
That's
scoop
brilliant.
to try and find
Yeah.
something, and there's so much. That's the
Oh.
thing. There's so much amazing stuff every day happening, and it sucks that none of it is ever covered, like on a trending
Yeah,
basis
exactly.
at least. Like maybe it'll be like a few lines at the end of one newspaper, but it'll never be across multiple newspapers. It'll just be like a section filler. So yeah, we carved out specific space for that, and then even in the editing process, like I mean, gosh, sometimes I get to the briefing every day, and the top 10 stories are like random murders or like, do you know what I mean? Just things that are terrible,
So
obvious,
horrendous.
really, really
Designed to
bad.
scare people.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Why is it national news? Like, why is it trending all the time? It's just so that's part of the editing process. It's like how do we, not to like completely whitewash anything terrible that's happening, but how do we actually put in the things that seem relevant to like the everyday person in Britain, rather than like just something bad happened to a random
Something
person.
horrible.
Somewhere,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like today's one I liked it because today's one, the study finds that three times more climate resilient coral reefs than previously thought. Yeah, I mean, anything positive on the climate has got to be put out, hasn't it? Because
more than that, there's also a lot of coral reef farms around the world that are regrowing it to plant it. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
About
Not
that
know
either,
that.
so
No, I didn't know
just
that.
saying.
No,
Yeah,
that's
thank
cool. Yeah,
It's
I mean,
fascinating.
all
They
that
grow it
sort
on
of.
fishing lines under the water.
I did
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. When people read this, I want them to come away from it feeling mildly inspired at the end, right? Because it kind of goes like daily briefing, and then positive story, and then quote of the day. And we handpick the quote for the day as well, right? To have it leave on a positive note. But I would just hate for someone to like, read the top 5 stories, and the 5th one is about like a murder or something, and then they just go into their day like, oh my god, like it's just all bleak. It's just terrible. But that's how most people live, right? It's just
Exactly.
awful.
No,
Why?
it's good to have that kind of that bookend at the as you say, as you leave the briefing, as it were, with a good news and a nice quote, a positivity kind of booster, as it were. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing as well, right? Like a lot of, well, I think again, Sal, when you mentioned dysregulation, I think it's such a good point, right? Because one thing that helps with regulating people is just knowing what's going to come. And if you know that a positive thing is going to come at the end of this every time, kind of helps you consume it as well, right? And use it.
Oh, it looks you got something to look forward to. It's like pudding, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not just like, because that was one of the things, right? Like, even if you go to BBC, which is relatively neutral, you never, ever, ever know what you're going to get when you go on that homepage. Could be anything.
They're all over the bloody place.
Or all in capitals, or like breaking news and this and that.
Yeah.
You don't know. It's literally like Pandora's box on those pages. So, yeah.
You taking selfies, Sal?
No, there's a terrifying woman on Sky who I've never seen before in my life, but she would appear to be in the House of Parliament, so I'm going to send it to you to tell me who she is, but she's frightening.
Okay.
Never seen anything quite like it.
Yeah. That was one of the things I really liked about it when I started looking at it and signed up for it, was that positive spin at the end. It's important, I think, that part of it. It's not just a fun or useful bit. I think it's an important part of the whole process of the briefing. So yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you.
So what's next? What's happening with it?
Next, we are in the process of building the app. So hopefully, well, yes, not just hopefully, in the next couple of months that'll go live for people to use. And also, we want this to be a collaborative thing, right? So if people are listening to this and they use it and they have ideas for what they think would be good or things they'd like to see, we'd love to hear, right? Because at the end of the day, we're building this for the people, like for people out there.
Everybody, exactly.
It's not just like something we're doing to,
it's not a pet project.
Yeah, exactly. It's we want it to be used by everyday people out there who want to stay informed but don't want to be overwhelmed, and we want it to be this kind of co-creative thing. So I mean, if anyone has ideas, that's kind of what we're doing. It's just we want to get the app out, and then we want to just keep on developing it. I mean, we've had interest from some other countries. That would be cool in the next few months, like seeing it spun up for Denmark or the US, which desperately needs something like this.
Yeah, it does.
But I think, firstly, it's just getting into the hands of people here in the UK, and then going from there is what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing the app
Exciting
when
times.
it's ready. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's just it's a public service, I think, isn't it? And it's there's so few decent public services there's no sort of agenda behind it, as it were. So I think it's going to be a really useful tool once we get it cracking and going with it. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, Don, as well. Like before, obviously, we started working together recently. You were just using it because you liked using it. It's probably worth saying that as well.
I mean, I said to you last week when we chatted, I came to the pod a couple of weeks ago and I hadn't had time to write any notes, so I just pulled up your daily briefing and I kind of worked off of that for most of a podcast episode. It's genuinely a useful thing. So I'll put links in a minute. Down below in the pod, the show notes of how to sign up. But what's the web address, Dan? Just for those listening.
news-agency.org.
Yeah. So you go there, you just basically sign up, put your email address in, fill in your name, and that's it, isn't it? And then you receive the briefing every single morning at around 8.
And check your spam folder, because that's where all of mine go to, including your Substacks.
Is that where I went originally? That's good to know. Okay.
But it happened with Substack as well when I signed up. Everyone I got on Substack, it goes right to my spam. So I have to go in and look around.
Is that on Outlook? Hotmail?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder. I think Microsoft uses quite strict filtering for its spam. I know quite a lot of people that still use Hotmail.
I'm forever getting Walmart $50 cards off.
But you don't get. Oh, right. Fair enough. Maybe it's making money from that though, probably, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, how would you wrap it up now? Just be like, thanks for joining.
Well, this is it. This is us.
This is it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Cool,
we chatted out right to the very end.
Yeah, it's so good.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Terrorman.
No, it is. No. We'll wrap it up now. I think we've covered everything. news-agency.org is the website. Check that out. The link will be in the show notes as always, and keep an eye on it because we'll be talking about it a lot, and we'll be trying to push it out a little bit further because it's just, as we said, it's such a genuinely useful tool, and it's genuinely, I think, it's an achievable aim to sort of get this non-partisan news out there, which is what's desperately needed, isn't it? So
yeah, for sure. Awesome.
Hopefully.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah. Awesome. Right, that'll do for now. Thanks for listening, everybody. And
do a like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes, please do that. And we'll speak to you all soon. Right. Bye for now.
Bye.